Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the weekend. We're going to do a slightly different format today than what I usually do. I'm going to talk about the weekend, the other Premier League teams, and then touch on us towards the end, because I think there's quite a few bits and pieces that are worth talking about. But before we get started, please like and subscribe. So, before our game, it was Villa and Arsenal. I didn't know what to expect from this, really, because Villa have been on a good run of form, but Arsenal are very solid. So can Villa continue the form? But it looked like Villa played a good game, and Arsenal looked a little bit off it. Eze taken off at half time, like Matt Cash was giving him the run around, which is good. But it was amazing those scenes at the end when Villa scored. That's what it's all about, isn't it? We had it on. I was in Gulliver's before the game, and the guy on the next table had it on his phone. So we watched the last few minutes, and it was great, wasn't it? It was great, and the Arsenal players at the end on the knees, gutted, but they've had a hard week, haven't they? But it certainly set us up well, and I think this is the problem, isn't it? When you start analysing the Premier League on a week by week basis. I watch ESPN a lot for my sins, and Don Hutchinson every week comes along and says, "Oh, I think it's 70% Arsenal. I think it's 50% Arsenal." I mean, but the reality is, Arsenal played away at Chelsea and Villa this week. We played at home to two newly promoted teams. The balance of probability was that we were going to make up some points on them, right? So, whilst it's good to be 2 points behind them, it's I wouldn't read too much into it at this stage. If we beat Palace, I will be a believer. I will definitely be a believer. I still think we can do it, but I think our squad is a bit too thin. But I'll come on to that a little bit later on. But putting pressure on Arsenal is obviously good. Having more than one challenger is obviously good. Because pressure does things to people, doesn't it? I was at the QPR game when City almost cocked it up, and I was at the Villa game when they played horrifically and were 2-0 down with 15 minutes to go. So there is a long way to go. Arsenal don't react well to pressure, and if we keep on them, then you never know. I don't think Villa have got enough to win the league. I think they've got a good outfit. Don't get me wrong. I think they've got a lot of good things going on. But have they got enough for winning the league? I doubt it. And so then there was us, which I'll come on to. But I got home and I watched the second half of Leeds and Liverpool. I got home, it was 0-0. Put my records on. 5 minutes later, it's 2-0 Liverpool. I got the turned it off, not watching this. Forget it. Flipped through the channels, found there was nothing else to watch. So I thought, I'll put it back on. You never know. Put it back on just as Canate tackled Nonto for that penalty. What was he doing? I mean, just stay on your feet and run it out. The guy's going nowhere. And then for their manager, Arne Slot, to come out after the game and say, you often say Canate's at the scene of the crime. I mean, it's not a good look, that, is it, for a manager? It's not a good look, that, for a Liverpool manager. And talking to managers, the Leeds manager, what was it, 10 days ago, City away, Chelsea at home, Liverpool at home. That was a death march for him, wasn't it? Towards the Dolce. But he seems to have got something going on there, and I thought it was fantastic. Last minute goal. He looks a good player, doesn't he? Who scored Tanaka? He looks a good one. He's got a screamer against Chelsea. And it finished 3-3. Another more drop points for Liverpool, and they don't look great. But then they scored at the end, didn't they, with Isaac? So I don't know. But the main story from that game was Salah, wasn't it? They've thrown me under the bus. They're throwing me under the bus. I wouldn't mind being thrown under a £400,000 a week bus. Wouldn't mind that at all. But what's he doing? And there's breaking news now that he's been dropped from the game at Inter Milan this midweek, so he won't be playing in that. I mean, someone's obviously got on there, hasn't it? It reminds me of that Ronaldo interview. I said it at the time, and a few people a few outlets for the same thing, Totsport and The Athletic. But yeah, it did remind me of that. A guy who's there on big dough, but just doesn't fancy it anymore for whatever reason. Someone's gone and he signed a contract less than 6 months ago, didn't it? For a nice whack. When he could have walked out the door if he was unhappy. I'm sure someone else would have given him a nice whack. So someone's gone on there in the last few months. He's talking about promises that Arne Slot made him. Really? What? What are the promises? No one's promised him, surely, that you're going to play every game regardless of form. Can't see that for a second. So forget that one. And then it's, well, we're going to strengthen the squad in the summer. well, they spent 400 million quid, didn't they? So they would argue they did strengthen the squad. Not quite worked out yet, but, they would say we spent the money to strengthen the squad. So what other promises are made to footballers outside of your playing time within reason, and we're going to strengthen the squad in the summer? I don't know. Well, what else could they promise him? I don't know. We seem to think the relationship with the manager is broken down, and it looks that way. The board look like they're back in slot at the moment, but how long can that carry on? He's won 2 of the last 10, I think, and he has turned into a bit of a bellend, hasn't he? Arrogant. Last year things were going well. Oh, he's all right. It seems all right. Much better than Klopp, who's a bit of a dick, wasn't he? But yeah, he just seems to have gone the other way now. Talk about City, talk about it, slagging Canate off. He might deserve it, but no more or less on Van Dijk, who's been diabolical. So it's a strange one that's going on there. But Salah goes off to AFCON in a week or two, so he's out of sight, out of mind. I'm sure someone's giving him, the nudge, wink, wink, that opportunity in Saudi. It might be there, because I can't see, there's no market for him, is there, outside of Saudi? I don't think. I really can't see that. The US, maybe. But he's on a big whack. They need Liverpool want a transfer fee. But people talk about Saudi Arabia like that they have no commercial understanding that they're just going to swan in and offer 100 million quid. He's offering nothing. Listen, Liverpool, we'll take your play off your hands, and we'll take this commitment of 400 grand a week off your hands. So you save that money. Maybe a nominal transfer fee. But the idea that they're going to come swanning in with 100 million quid just doesn't seem likely to me, and seems unnecessary as well, when you can get him for a song. You can get him for a song, couldn't you? Because Liverpool don't want to be lumbered with 400 grand a week the next 18 months for a player who doesn't like the manager, and a manager seemingly doesn't like the player. So, yeah, listen, there isn't a commercial and there's commercial advantage to spending a lot of money. More eyeballs on you, more eyeballs. So maybe they will offer some half decent money, but I can't see it being a lot. It doesn't need to be, does it? It doesn't need to be. Liverpool want rid of him, don't they? They don't want they do now. He wants gone, and they seem to be backing the manager. So the player's got to go. So they're not in the greatest negotiating position, are they? Sorry. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But they're not winning with him and not winning without him. So maybe the manager's the problem. Maybe Vert's the problem. Maybe they've got a lot of problems, haven't they? So long may it continue. But before we come on to us, and I will do us shortly, I know I'm a few minutes in. Tonight's game, Wolves versus United. I know it's a season of miracles, I know, but it's surely too much to ask for Wolves to get something out of this game. They are horrific. The Derby County team that finished with the lowest points the Premier League's ever seen had 6 points by this stage of the season. Wolves have got 2. 2 points. You'd think if the Royal Oak played 14 matches, they'd get more than 2 points, wouldn't you? Just law of averages, But no. So, unfortunately, I can see United winning, but everyone wins at Wolves, so it doesn't really make a blind bit of difference. But I was listening to some United content before our game. Don't ask me why. The level of entitlement that comes out of that club. First of all, why is the manager playing Kobe Mainoo? Well, he sees him every week in training, doesn't he? And how good is he? Is he good? He's all right, isn't he? But they say, I think it was Souness saying he can't run, he doesn't play the position very well. Well, maybe that's true. And to sort of Mainoo's defence, maybe that's not really a good argument, is it, when you've got Casemiro and Ugarte getting ahead of you, because they certainly can't run. But manager makes the decisions, doesn't he? And he's obviously not impressed by it. I mean, it's not United playing well, is it? And they've got loads of different options. And this guy's still not going to look in. Then my mate texted me and said he's played 17 minutes. So, he can't be that good, can he? He played against Grimsby and didn't tear it up, did he? So, anyway, so let's see how it goes with him. But I can't see him lasting long. And they always bang on about this youth player stuff. Oh, the youth playing this, youth playing that. Yeah, it is a good thing to have potentially, but not at the expense of everything else. If you can get good money for him, get rid of him, get someone else in. That's what I'd do. But yeah, I mean, United, the entitlement of Wolves, entitlement on this podcast, I was listening. It was those fanzine writers who were doing the Athletic podcast again, saying, oh, well, if Villa can be up at the top of the league and taking advantage of a weak league, why can't United? Why can't United be higher than Villa? How long have you got? Fucking hell. How long have you got? Right, well, I'll start, shall I? Villa have got one of their best managers in the division who's been there for years, building a top squad. They've got England's second best striker up front for them. Who they got in the dugout? They've got a dickhead with a nice coat, and they've got a striker with 70 mil who either seems to get a look in. So they've got a midfield who's got Casemiro running around in it. There's multiple reasons why United aren't anywhere near the standard of Aston Villa, but they just sit there like it's fact. It's like, oh well, should be. Why aren't we? Why aren't we up there? Well, because you're no good. You've been no good for a long time. You're part of this weak league you describe. I don't accept it's a weak league, to be honest with you. I just think United are terrible. Everyone else is pretty good. Brighton are better than them, aren't they? Loads of teams are better than them. But he just seems to think that he should be up there. And listen, maybe when he sacked this manager in a few weeks, which, they can't not, can they, surely? He's not up to it. Maybe then they'll turn a corner again and we'll see how it goes. But there's a sense of entitlement that they just deserve to be up there because other teams, because they think they're better than Villa or something like that. It's pathetic. So come on, Wolves, do the business and put that Amarin out of his misery. Hey, why not? Right, so come on to us now. So team comes out. One change. I like seeing Kusanov in for Nunes, as I mentioned. But broadly, I was happy. Good to see Cherky get a start, and this will be a Cherky appreciation section in a few minutes time. But I thought we started well. We didn't do a lot, but I thought one of my concerns I mentioned in the previous video was us going backwards and forwards against them, running backwards and forwards. But no, we can't be having that. We can't be having people running backwards and forwards. And I thought Bernardo was excellent in that top tempo set, and Cherky as well. He just walks with the ball. He's amazing, isn't it? He just just gonna walk around with it rather than run. It is mental that he just stands there, walks and waits for people to come and get the ball off him. But we didn't try and get the ball. But we didn't create much, did we? In the first half, which was frustrating. Although we had created opportunity to create. Cherky not one across the sort of 8 yards out, no one there. Doku stuck one up, no one there, and I think there was one more. Haaland was occupying a lot of defenders, but no one was taking the space. Maybe that's where Reinders comes in, but I'll come on to him in a bit. So yeah, first half broadly okay, but nothing happening. And then Diaz, honestly, I said to the guy next to me, what is he doing? Shooting. And as I said it, ball straight. And I sit right behind that. So that ball came straight towards me. So yeah, it took a bit of a nick, but that's the benefit of having shots, isn't it? It can hit people. So made up for him. That is that he's got his goal scoring knack now, hasn't he? Scored against Newcastle and scored again on Saturday. So yeah, good that others are chipping in. And then I was a bit disappointed with Sunderland actually. So let's see what they're all about. They didn't really get a chance, did they? Foden corner, Gvardiol, lovely. I mean, again, I sit right behind it. So the cross from Foden took the keeper out, took everyone out. And Gvardiol, his run, header, absolutely superb. And we were quite comfortable, weren't we? We said that against Leeds, though, didn't we? And against Fulham. So we're thinking, how many goals do we need here to make sure we're all right and we don't get caught like we have done the last two matches. Well, second half started well, didn't it? Second half started well. Doku runs through, hits a post, thinking, right, we've got this. And Diaz, what's he doing? Cocks up, but Donnarumma to the rescue. Straight out, bang. I mean, if you see a still of when that guy has that shot, their striker has that shot, and where Donnarumma's position is, he flew at him. I thought it was a fantastic save, mate. I thought that's why Donnarumma gets a big bucks, isn't it? He didn't talk about bucks. He didn't get booked, did he? So he's available for Palace away. And someone made a fantastic observation, actually, that after Palace, it's Brentford in the cup, in the League Cup. He won't be playing. He's unlikely to play in that anyway, isn't it? That'd be for Trafford to play it. So he'll get booked against Palace, banned for the Brentford game. He's not going to play in anyway. And then the slate is wiped clean for the rest of the season. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Yeah, sounds like a plan. I'm not advocating gambling here, but anyway, but I might have 50p on him to get booked versus Crystal Palace. So we'll see. We'll see there. But yeah, so then after that, it's pretty chilled. They hit the post, didn't they? Was that a 2-0 or 3-0? I can't remember. They hit the post, Xhaka, and then Cherki. That Rabona. Credit to the guy who sits next to me. Right? He set hand up before that, and then he did the Rabona. Credit to the guy who sits seat 2 next to me. He says to me, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" I said, "I saw him like." He said, "Watch it." We couldn't have been further away, and this guy spotted it. So, well, maybe he hadn't had 8 pints like I had, but still, he still had very, very, very good eyesight. And then the gasp when you see it on the big screen when they show the replay, it was like Mamouche, when he scored against Bournemouth, and you see the replay, and everyone goes, "Oh my god!" It was fantastic. But Phil's header, he gets a little bit forgotten about. It reminded me of Bernardo's against Real Madrid. It comes to me just superb. I like Pep's comments as well, saying don't do it again, essentially, but I'm sure he will. And we're talking about Ronaldinho, funnily enough, in the pub before the game, and this guy, do it again. I want to see you play 5 games on the trot. You played not one. So let's see how we are in a few more games' time. But one slight issue I have with it is when he ran through, the pass was to Mamouche, and he took it on himself. But the kid made a good save, but the pass all day was to Mamouche. And I think he had at least one other opportunity to do that as well. So that's a slight negative. But overall, I thought it was superb. But he also set Reinders up. It didn't bother me at the time that Reinders missed. I thought, oh, he's quite a bit too quick, how to react. More watched on Match Today when I got home. And I got scored out. I mean, he's had lots now. I know he scored against Fulham. So he has got one more since August. I'm looking at it going, are you a bad finisher? Because you get the positions, and the list of missed opportunities is very, very long now. So that wound me up. Haaland's not so much. He was on his weaker foot. But yeah, just probably more than it should have wound me up. But it annoyed me. So hopefully you can improve on that. But yeah, otherwise, it was a very good game, wasn't it? Subs come on. Ake played centre-back, did all right. Savinho, I was pissed by that. I didn't really see much in him, but he got on, didn't he? I think, and had a run round. So that's okay. Mamouche thought looked lively, but too late, innit? He's off in, week and a half, whatever it is. So I'll tell you someone I'm not going to be seeing, though. Stones, he got injured yesterday. Pep said he doesn't know how long he's out for. Not helpful, is it? Stones getting injured. Where did he get injured? At home or on the bench? Where these people get injured all the time? No, he never gets stretchered off. Does he? Never gets stretchered off. He just doesn't play. And then, he can't play now. He's injured again. So, don't know what they do with him. But we need people, don't we? Like I said, I was broadly happy with the squad in August, but we're heavily reliant on Diaz and Gvardiol. Kuznov doesn't seem to be playing at centre-half anymore. Ake, probably off in January. Is there an opportunity to get Mark Gay from Palace? I don't know. Hopefully. I mean, his contract's running out. But they're third in the league, aren't they? Third, fourth in the league. So, not going to be easy. They might just take a view that, what you're offering, 20 million, forget it. We'll run with it. We'll run with it. And he'll have his pick of clubs on a free transfer after a World Cup. He'll get a big bag. They'll get European football. Tick, tick, tick. Everyone's happy. So coming with 20 million quid's probably not going to move the needle. I don't know what Palace's financial status are. Maybe it does, but if they sell him in the middle of the season for 20 million, that manager will probably walk out the door with him. So no, I expect they'll keep hold of him. But I think we need someone. If we don't fancy Kusanov, Aït-Nouri's gone. He'll be going to AFCON. So, whilst we're talking about Aït-Nouri and left backs, can we just mention O'Reilly? Saw something yesterday. He won 10 duels. I mean, I wasn't counting, but the eye test, oh my days, so strong. So strong, running to midfield. No one gets past him. He gets past anyone he wants to get past. Superb. I was listening to another YouTube channel the other day, and someone in the comments section says, Is Nico O'Reilly a Premier League winning left back? Premier League winning left back? Be a World Cup winning left back. Never mind Premier League. Sky's the limit for that guy. I'm telling you, not hanging around at the bloody Premier League. No. He could do the lot. So get him. I'd keep him near me. I'd get more. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I'd do. But he has to play, and I don't want to start fanning around with him in midfield. Leave him there for now. Maybe midfield later on in the season or two. But for now, keep him there. Or maybe buy Matt Gay, stick Guardiola. I don't know. And then O'Reilly midfield. I don't know. But get him on the pitch. I thought he was superb. But Haaland's a bit quiet. But he'll get a day off against Brentford. I was going to do a Real Madrid preview in this video, but I've noticed we've gone over 20 minutes already, so I won't do that. I'll do Real Madrid tomorrow. I think, depending on how things are work wise. But they got beat yesterday at home to Celta Vigo, 2-0. They could do it. Why can't we? Apparently they're a bit of a mess, Real Madrid, but never easy going there in the Champions League, is it? So we'll have to see where we are. But yeah, overall, it's a very good weekend for City. Apart from the injuries, Rodri again, another one. When? So we are light, aren't we? And Kovacic can't play. Kovacic can't play. Rodgers can't play. Stones can't play. Marmoush can't play. Aït-Nouri can't play in a week and a half. So we're pretty light. So yeah, maybe they will go and do something in the market in January. I hope so, because I think we need something, don't we? I think we need summer. Because we need to play Nico and Bernardo every game. And we saw last season Bernardo can't play every game, and Nico's getting the Rodri treatment. Play till you get injured. Then play again. It's not a great formula for form and fitness. So we'll see how we get on. But Brentford next week will give us hopefully a bit of a breather. Although I do want to do well in that tournament, so we'll see how it goes. Better not go full Leverkusen, but a few changes should be okay. Right, and we'll leave it there then. I think we've covered everything. Liverpool are in disarray. Arsenal got beat. We're 2 points closer. And hopefully Wolves can do the business this evening. Although I'm not hopeful. But we live in hope, don't we? So thank you. Take care. If you got this far, I appreciate it. And do like, subscribe, and onwards and upwards. And I'll see you tomorrow for a brief preview of the Real Madrid game. Take care.